Hello students and welcome again to another Media and Information Literacy class. Today, we will be discussing about media and information sources. The objective of our class today would be to compare potential sources of media and information. Sources of information. There are several sources of information available for us. First would be library. Second would be indigenous media. And lastly, internet. So what is a library? Library, according to Wikipedia, is a curated collection of sources of information and similar resources, selected by experts and made accessible to a defined community for reference or borrowing. There are types of libraries available. First one is academic. Academic libraries are often used for research and development purposes. Colleges and higher education institution often has this. Public libraries. Public libraries are libraries that are often open for the general public. Next is school. Most schools have their own libraries. They are often used for scholastic purposes for the students. And lastly, special. Special libraries often cater special purposes for a very special type of audience. So what is indigenous? According to Oxford Languages, indigenous is originating or occurring naturally in a particular place or environment. In other words, native. Indigenous knowledge. Indigenous knowledge is a knowledge that is unique to a specific culture or society. Most often, it is not written down. Indigenous communication. Indigenous communication is the transmission of information through local channels or forms. Indigenous media. It may be defined as forms of media expression, conceptualized, produced, and circulated by indigenous people. So there are forms of indigenous media. There are folk and traditional media, gatherings and social organizations, direct observation, records, whether it be written, oral, or carved, and lastly, oral instruction. So, what is internet? Everybody makes use of it nowadays, especially that now we have to deal with mobile learning. We have to make use of the internet for us to learn. So according to Encyclopedia Britannica, internet is a system architecture that has revolutionized communications and methods of commerce by allowing various computer networks around the world to interconnect. Things to consider in evaluating information. Evaluating information found on the internet. First, we must verify the authorship, the publishing body, the accuracy and verifiability, and lastly, the currency or the timeliness of the information. Reliability of information. Information is said to be reliable if it can be verified or evaluated. You can verify and evaluate information by cross-referencing the said information through other sources. Accuracy of information. Accuracy refers to the closeness to the report to the actual data. In other words, the information that you have obtained hasn't been tampered with since it was taken from the data. Value of information. Information is said to be of value if it aids the user in making or improving decisions. Is the information relevant to your decision making? Is the news of the current situation in our world right now have any value for you? If it is, then it means that it has a value of information. Authority of the source. Much of the information we gather daily do not come from a primary source, but are passed on through secondary sources such as writers, reporters, and the like. Timeliness. Reliability, accuracy, and value of information may vary based on the time it was produced or acquired. This means that a news may expire its reliability or value of information depending on when you have heard the information or the news. Now for the skills in determining the reliability of information. First, check the author. Then, check the date of publication or of update. Then, check for citations. Check the domain or the owner of the site and page. Next will be the skills to determine the accuracy of information. Look for facts. Cross-reference with other sources for consistency, and determine the reason for writing and publishing the information. Does the writer have any motive for writing the said subject? And that's all for our class for today.